Hey gang, Nate Bear here, lead technical tactician for Monument Traders Alliance and Trade of the Day. And in today's video update, I want to go over the SPX like we always do. And I've got 3 names that I am watching for entry this week. All right, so let's dive right in. So the first thing, as usual, is that I want to talk about this SPX. And for those of you who are new, this is basically the S&P 500. It's the biggest index, in my opinion, the most important index. It's got the widest range of names, different sectors, et cetera, and it's key to sort of have this running dialogue with yourself, with others, whoever you trade with. Where is the XPS? Where is the SPX going? What's it doing? Where's it headed? Is it moving? Is it resting? Et cetera. So we've been talking about this trend line, the break. We had this really nice move higher over the last few weeks, capped off sort of last week by a big move in Meta, META, formerly Facebook. And then sort of things just calmed down a little bit. We had a little bit of a pullback towards the end of the week when we had some big tech earnings that came in. Not good or bad, they just came in a little bit, to be expected, I guess. But the market has sort of pulled back. So from here, I don't have a fresh signal down here. I don't have a fresh squeeze. I'm not looking at this and thinking, oh, we need to get long because this is about to just rip higher, or hey, I've got to get short because this is about to all fall apart. I just don't have a clean signal or a clean setup at the moment in the SPX. Doesn't mean that there's nothing to do. It just means that right now I am looking for chop. I'm looking for about actually 2 weeks of chop. We've got earnings. Not earnings. We've got monthly options expiration next week. So it would not surprise me at all if the SPX, excuse me, I'm dyslexic today apparently, but if the SPX just sort of did this for 2 weeks, we just get some consolidation, we just go sideways, we'll see. But that's kind of what I'm looking for. The index that I do like here, as a matter of fact, is the DIA, and we talked about this in the weekly watch list. But basically, as the SPX has been going up and the QQQ has been going up, the DIA is forming this really nice pattern in through here. I'm going to draw that a little cleaner. And we've got a daily squeeze. So I do like DIA names like Boeing, we talked about. Looks really good here. As you can see, I was looking for entry off of 205. I like Boeing and just, the DIA, the Dow names. But as far as fresh setups for this week, the first one that I'm looking for and what I would consider the most responsible TPS type setup is FSLR, which is First Solar. And, everything we talk about, is it trending? Yes, it's trending. Check. Does it have a pattern? Well, here's your flagpole. And here's your bull flag. So yes, we've got a pattern. And do we have a squeeze? Yes. So we're only 1 dot in. So I think maybe it needs a couple more dots before I would look to take action on this. But we do have earnings coming up as well. So I've got everything I need here, plus earnings, which are going to be like a catalyst. And if I click on this icon, I can see that earnings are on Thursday, February 28th. So if we're looking at options to potentially play FSLR to the long side, I know that I've got earnings coming up on towards the end of the month, and I will just go over here to the options chain and pick up some of these. I want to include the earnings in the options that I select, right? So we know the earnings on the 23rd. I would go with the 20 options that expire on the 24th, and I would just do something out of the money, maybe the 175s, the 170s, or the 175s. Probably go with the 170s on a move, well, really not a move, but down here around this 21 EMA, and then look for this to trigger long into earnings. So that's the first idea that I'm looking at, FSLR, for a run higher into earnings. And I'll mark a chart up for you so you've got all this written down. But basically, I'm looking to get long around 168 to 166, somewhere in through here, and then would stop on a close below, say, 164, 165. All right, so that's the first one I'm looking at. The next one I'm looking at isn't a typical TPS setup, but it is one with very high short float, and that is BYND, Beyond Meat. Now, one thing I want you to notice is we do have sort of a reversal, like a nice big base with this weekly squeeze. I don't have enough time to play this weekly setup for a move back up here, because if we look at the daily, we've got earnings coming up on the 23rd as well, 23rd of February. So one thing that I am looking at, however, is see how BYND is just sort of trending higher here off these lows, right? Trending higher. It's just making this pattern of higher highs and higher lows. Well, it's coming in here, and it had a nice move last week, but it's coming back in here to support, which is around 18. So I'm actually looking at sort of an if-then trade in BYND, and that's very simple because if BYND holds this $18 level, then I want to go long off that level. If it cannot hold this level and starts breaking, say, under 17, then I don't want to be in the trade. So it's not like a perfect setup. It's not a TPS setup. It's not something that I'm going to recommend as a responsible trade. But check this out. BYND has incredibly high short float, 38% short float gain. So the idea that this could come in, sort of hold the 618 retracement, and I'll zoom in on that to show you a better idea. But basically, if you measure from this swing low up to this swing high, that retracement, that 618 retracement comes in right here at about 18. So if BYND can sort of hold here, I do like it to continue putting in another set of like higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, right? So anyway, it's again not a TPS setup, but it is something that I am looking to get long. And in BYND, keeping in mind that those options, that the earnings, are on the 23rd of February, same thing. I would just come into that February 24th options expiration series. And you could go with like the 20. I mean, they're actually pretty cheap. The $20 calls here for about $1.05. I think that makes a lot of sense. It's a low cost idea. And again, if BYND holds this level, then could we get a short squeeze into earnings, given that it's got 40%, nearly 40% of the float is held short. All right, so those are a couple ideas, a couple of things that I am watching. The only other thing that I am currently watching, and I'm sort of waiting right now, is META. They had a huge move last week, and I'm just looking to see if this 30-minute squeeze can get some legs. I do think actually that META will take out this 196 level and work its way up into 200. So another one, it's a sort of shorter term trade, but watching this 30-minute squeeze to see how it develops, how it plays out, and seeing if META can take out 196, which it sort of had a first test, a second test. If it comes up here and tests it for a third time, I do expect that it will break through and test 200. All right, my friends, that is what I've got. I hope it helps you. Again, if you're new and you like this content, please hit like, subscribe for more videos just like this. And if you have any comments, questions, issues, concerns, or whatever, hit me in the comments below and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks for watching and talk to you soon. Later.